So this actually translates to light bulb. If you're anything like me, you'd be thinking, what? I mean, I always love a fourth tone pow, just, Good morning, everybody. Happy Thursday. It's day 4 of my daily language diary, and today, to mark the 4th day, I'm using a different mug, and this one is whale blue. And this color just makes me happy. I love the first sip of coffee in the morning. I just love it. All right, we've made it to the 4th day. I'm super excited, and we've got some really, really good questions that have come in. So I have got an amazing list of topics, and as I said before, I'm gonna be just going through all the questions in order. So don't worry, I'll definitely get to your question in time. Today though, I'm gonna make a kind of short little video about my own topic. I'm gonna probably answer your questions in most of these diary videos, but I occasionally do wanna sort of share nice little moments that come up and things that I feel, just like compelled to talk about. So we're gonna talk about learning idioms and slang in foreign languages. And for me, I've always really loved this topic. There's something so delightful about the kind of insider status that you get, or at least the feeling of being an insider, when you start to really get a handle on, the type of language that native speakers really do use. But it's not just about when you learn a idiom or you learn a slang phrase or word, right? But it's also, for me, really pleasant when I learn the meaning behind it or the story behind it, right? So I remember in French learning things like la boîte, like to mean like the office or job, like je suis à la boîte, or like the word bosser instead of travailler. So I remember when I first started learning these words, and then I would say things like je suis à la boîte, or aujourd'hui j'ai bossé 3 heures, or 10 heures. 3 heures would be a very short day. But then it gets really fun as you start to learn more and more phrases and like the specific meaning behind them. So as many of you know, I am now learning Chinese, and I'm now starting to get to the stage where I'm beginning to kind of learn some of these slang or idiomatic phrases and words, and I'm having a lot of fun. So I want to share one with you today that I learned last night. And I would really love for us to start like a cool thread in the comments and share any of these kind of idioms or slang phrases or words, terms, anything. Share them in the comments with me. I would love it. And it doesn't matter which language it is. So the one I'm going to share with you today is the word for third wheel in Chinese. So for those of you who are not native English speakers, or maybe don't know this word, a third wheel essentially describes the third person on a date, right? So let's say you go out and do something nice and it's a couple, right? And so you have a romantic couple, 2 people, and then there's the friend, right? And so you can imagine like on a bicycle, for example, you have 2 wheels, you're going, and then this third person is like the third wheel, right? And so we usually say this, and it certainly has kind of a negative undertone to it. You'll very often hear people say things like, oh, I don't want to be the third wheel, right? Or, oh, I'm so tired of always being the third wheel. And in English, you can have fun with this, right? Because of the imagery. And so let's say it's a double date. So you have 2 romantic couples, so 4 people, and then a 5th person, so they might say like, oh, great, now I'm the 5th wheel. Now in Chinese, the word for third wheel is dian deng pao. Dian deng pao. Which first of all just sounds fun. I mean, I always love a 4th tone pao, just, dian deng pao, I love it. So this actually translates to light bulb. And so if you're anything like me, you'd be thinking, what? By the way, I learned this because I'm listening to this kind of romantic series for learning Chinese, and it's ridiculously corny. Roma. I learned that. I've learned a bunch of random like kind of romantic related words like 花花公子. That's a player. Someone who's a player. Oh, wait, what else did I learn? 甜言蜜语. I think it's 甜言蜜语 for sweet talk, which is kind of fun. So anyway, that's why I learned the word for third wheel. I wasn't just like searching around. Not that I'm ever a third wheel or anything. I mean, it's never happened to me. It doesn't happen. It never happens. I don't mind being a third wheel. Even if I am a third wheel, it's fine. 我可以是电灯泡，没问题. So the reason why the word light bulb can be translated to third wheel is because if you imagine a couple, so two people, they're on a date, it's romantic. At a certain point, maybe they want to be in the dark. And so this third person is like the light bulb that so they can't have privacy and they don't get this darkness that they might want. I found that hilarious. Like, I'll admit it, when I actually heard the explanation, I did kind of burst out laughing, and I just thought that was fun. And again, it's just nice feeling where you're like, oh, I get it. This is like a cultural insider sort of piece of knowledge that I now have. So this starts to really build into what I like to refer to as cultural literacy. And this is a really passionate topic for me, and I'd love to talk more about it on these daily diary videos. But so as you start to not only learn these slang words or these idioms, but start to understand the meaning behind them, it actually does start to give you a window into how the people who speak that language think. It really does start to give you kind of an inside look at this sort of cultural fabric of what people find funny, right? Like, how do they construct jokes? And in this case, there's a lot behind this sort of 电灯泡, in my opinion. And as you learn 5 or 10 or 15 or 20 or 30 or 50 similar sort of idioms, I think you do start to correlate things. And in my case, in the past, these are always things that have allowed me to start becoming really funny in a different language, because I can then take this word 电灯泡 and maybe I'll switch it around, or like maybe if someone's being a really obnoxious third wheel, maybe I would use the word for like the sun. And in my experience, those are the times when I'm able to really make native speakers laugh off of their seats, when I start to take these kind of phrases and I switch things out in a way that does actually make sense if you understand the sort of cultural fabric behind it. And once it clicks for native speakers, they find it hilarious. And so very often, I've done this so many times in Japanese, in French, in Italian especially, where I've said things that maybe no Italian person has ever said, because I was able to take my outside perspective and use my insider knowledge to create new, really funny phrases that people really enjoyed. Okay, that's it. I cannot wait to see what idioms and slang words and phrases you will share in the comments. I look forward to it. And I also can't wait for tomorrow's video. It's gonna be Friday, day 5. Let's do it. Have an excellent Thursday. I'll see you then.